Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, folks, happy Friday. Big weekend, Leeds v Villa. Let's get into it. This is everyone's favourite Friday night Leeds show, I hope. Late Night Leeds. Now then, everybody, hope everyone's doing well. Smash a like on the video and let's get into it. How are you doing, boys? Adam, let's go with you first.
Very well, thanks, mate. Sold my house this week.
Oof.
Two viewings. Do you know, I've had 2 viewings. We had enough for every viewing because I'm a master salesperson. And yeah, and we had 2 more today, actually, but they're sold already. So it's class. We're moving soon. So yeah, all good.
Was it an awkward walk around the house? Because I spoke to Adam earlier and he said he'd already accepted an offer, but he had a couple more people coming around it. But one of those awkward moments when it were like, you're not having it no matter what happens here, but I've still got to show you around. Did that happen, Adam?
Well, mate, the estate agents come around and do it, right? We've got like a side gate and they go things like, here's the side gate for side access.
Of course.
Your parking bays where you can put your cars.
And then did you say, and this outhouse is where the butler lives?
No, we don't show him to the world.
We don't show him to the world. Ah, class. Moving on, Bossnass. How are you doing, buddy? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I just want to ask AG, do you have to get like a specialist estate agent to deal with like castles and stuff like that?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you got to go through the royals because they're the ones in the right connections. And yeah, you go
right. Got to get one of those fancy stamps and that.
By the time they get to the 15th bedroom, they've got to swap shifts.
Do you want to know a fact? Just everyone's going to throw in my face. No, actually, I'm not going to say it. Right, carry on.
Right then. Anyway, guys, obviously a big weekend this weekend. Got Villa at Ellen Road, which we will have a preview for later. But just sort of want to have a bit of a general chat about where everybody is currently, because usually, lads, I get a lot more confident as we approach a game. I've had longer to dwell on it than a normal week, and it has been not good for me. I'm gonna lie. I've not really changed my stance. I'm still a little bit negative towards these next bunch of fixtures, which I think the majority of the fan base are very worried. The points are going to be limited, if any, potentially, when you look at these fixtures. And yeah, I don't know if you guys have got any more positive as the fortnight's gone on. I hope one of you is going to predict something a bit later that's not the same as me for the first time on the show.
It is, right? I'm back to front this week. I'm usually like you, Matty. You know, like as the game edges closer, the less I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about. Weirdly enough, this week, and I don't know why, I can't put my finger on it. As the game's like approaching, I'm like, do you know what? I kind of fancy us to pull something out here. Do you know what it is? Because sometimes pressure makes diamonds, doesn't it? And I think they've had they've had the full international break. They kind of must understand where they are as a team. They must have had talked about it as a team, talking about coming up against these 4 very difficult teams. And sometimes when the pressure gets turned up to the max, that's when people stand up. I've seen it before. And I'm just hoping that this is something, like when a dog's backed into a corner. I'm hoping Leeds are getting backed into a corner, and I hope Sunday, that we are that dog getting backed into a corner and we just come out scrapping and we pick someone up. So yeah, I am feeling a little bit more confident.
Oh, well, that'll tee up the preview towards the end of the show nicely. That you're feeling like hopefully it doesn't dwindle as the next hour or so goes on. Keep that level of optimism, boss. We need it. I need it. How about you, Adam? How are you feeling? Obviously, he's had his press conference today. Farke's actually, for having 2 weeks off, he spoke quite a lot in the press in this last fortnight, Adam. Sky England, Sky Germany. He did something for Leeds YouTube channel. He's had his presser today. I feel like I've seen more of Farke in this last week than I do most weeks. So how have you sort of viewed how he's handled the press? And let's be fair, the pressure. That's why he's having interviews, because everybody knows he's hugely under pressure.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I can't work out why he's having interviews. I don't know why he's come so front and center in Sky Sports, YouTube. Obviously, the club wants him to do it for whatever reason. The club also releases this thing in the mail about the 4 games, 4 points needed. It seems there's been a bit of a line in the sand for the whole thing, and it's just full steam ahead now. Like all the chats have been done, conversations been had, and between the club, Farke, the board, and they're going to go from here. But I don't know where Farke takes. The problem is the players haven't been around. So where we go from here is with the team. I don't know. I'm the opposite of you. What Bossnass said. I think I'm really worried about Sunday in terms of the match. I think Villa are very good players. They're in really, really strong form, and if Farke doesn't adapt, and I think even if he wanted to adapt, he's going to struggle because very few of the players have been there. So yeah, where we go from here, I don't know. And the press conference today, I watched about 8-9 minutes. I can't be bothered. The problem with
That was enough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because he just goes off on one about how much he loves Dan James, and everyone in the room knows how much I love Dan James the most. And it's like, what are you talking about? What's happening here?
I love Dan James, but get sat on that bench.
Yeah, well, that's how it came across, wasn't it? That Aronson's probably going to play still.
Yeah.
He set up for that because he said something about as well losing. I don't want to reward the players on the bench by us losing games and them getting game time. That's what he said, something like that. Well, it's not rewarding them. You're supposed to. If players aren't playing very well, you're losing games of football. You got to find a way to fix it. You find a way to change. You find a way to adapt and overcome. It's not about rewarding players just because they're not your favourites, not rewarding them or whatever.
Yeah, I'll jump in there. I think that's quite odd. Like that's quite an odd thought process.
Yes.
Like when you're in an international break and this, that, and the other, and you get your lads back, and you obviously been watching them away whilst they've been playing away, and it should be no kind of, I don't want to say agenda, but you shouldn't have a preconceived thought process of I don't want this to happen. It should be as simple as I'm going to pick my best team, which is the biggest problem for Aston Villa on Sunday at 2 p.m. Do you know? I'm going to pick the 11 players that are going to give us the best chance of getting points out of the game, regardless of whether they've been sitting on the bench or they played every minute this season up to this point. So I just find that a bit of an odd thought process.
And I don't think anyone that's been starting's earned anything either. I don't think anyone in the squad's earned it. At the moment, I don't label one player as an automatic starter, like must start. No. Not one of them. Not one.
No,
and there a few weeks ago, really, like DCL, Longstaff, I think they've all been poor. I know DCL didn't play last game, but they've all been poor. And you blame systems and all sorts of things. There's you got horses for courses. Play at Aston Villa. Pick the best team to beat Aston Villa. Don't worry about the last game of who won, who lost. Just pick the best team with the best tactics to beat Aston Villa. Don't worry about anything else. Don't talk about how much you love Dan James or you love Willie Nonto or they're not Matt Sharp because he's out for 4 months. They're supposed to rest for 4 months or get Matt Sharp for 4 months. It's nonsense. Do you know what it was? It was actually a load of nonsense. And that's the problem. It's just round the houses.
I thought, when he was talking about how Dan James, he'll say he loves him, and last season he was the first name on the team sheet some weeks. Like, that means nothing. It's like when he skirts around the subject and goes, oh, well, I got 100 points last season. Yeah, great. It means nothing this season, though. Dan James, the first name on the team sheet last season. For me, with one leg, he should be playing over Brendan Aronson. So the fact he's gone away with Wales and he's had, 2 60-minute performances, he got a goal. How was that not ready to start for Leeds United over Brendan Aronson for me? He was also been away on international duty too. I know he hadn't played a lot of minutes. But I just don't understand it. I mean, Willie Nonto, this for me is a huge moment when that team sheet comes out. He's been fit now for the last 2 games and he hasn't been picked. Over match sharpness, match fitness. How are you supposed to build it up without matches? I don't know. He's pulling it back to what he's seen in training, which we've heard this old rhetoric before. This is what he says before you end up sitting on sideline for 4, 5, 6 games. We've seen it. I'm not seeing it in training, so they're not going to play. And it's a bit of a worry for me because, until January, we've still got a lot of big games. There's still a lot of points, and we can't be getting cut adrift. And Willie Nonto and Dan James, for me, with what we've got right now, they're the game changers. They're the ones that I would look at and lean on to get us some points, lads, in my opinion.
Dan James has got to start. Dan James has got to start games of football more than anyone else, actually, Mo. Like, in a lot of ways, like he can be a difference maker. He can. We need to find mayhem. We need to find transitions. We need to find pace in what we do. And Dan James brings all of that. And I'll say it's always going to work or look great or it's going to work at all. But we've got to try something. And for me, Dan James is what can offer that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems quite a simple proposition when things aren't working to go, actually, I'm going to have to change something here. But at the same time, I think he will look at each game as it comes and look at each opponent as they stand. And on that basis, I think we know it's nothing to do with shape. The shape, I think, is locked in for as long as Daniel Farke is here.
Yeah, me too.
So for me, it's about balance. He's looking at balance. And I'm not sure he wants to. I'm not sure at this moment he's ready to throw a caution to the wind. And what I mean by that is, I think he'd rather have Aronson playing simply to have that little bit more of defensive. And look, people say, "Oh, Nonto and James do that," and I agree, by the way. But Daniel Farke obviously really values what Aronson brings when it comes to pressing the opponent in their half, and also what he can do to help his fullback. So for me, it'll be interesting, and I do expect him to start Aronson. But if you're going to start him, can we see that press? I think that's the main benefit he brings to the team is hurrying. He's not really a great tackler, but he hurries and he makes people make poor decisions. So if he is to play, I want to see like pretty much like against Everton first game of season, where we're on them within a couple of seconds. We're not sitting in our own half at the restart. So that's basically what my thoughts on that would be.
Yeah, and he said that in presser today. He mentioned about the pressing's been off, and he needs to see them working hard in certain moments with their press. He also mentioned about in previous games we haven't been getting close enough to DCL. Again, pointing out the obvious, but it would be nice to hear Farke sort of say that because I do think sometimes I'm going mental when I'm watching his tactics, his philosophy. If you can even say he's got one at the minute the last few games. I think AG's frozen there, unless he's really still. But it would be nice to hear him sort of acknowledge that and bring that up. And it's definitely something we need. Is that Bossnass in it? We need DCL to have people in and around him to those second balls that were landing in the opening games when DCL were in. Now, here he is. Look, here he is. Did Jeeves knock the internet box? Right? Did he knock it off?
Yeah, little bastard.
But it's paramount to us getting up the field and scoring goals. That if DCL starts, which will be quite interesting to see with Metcha scoring that goal. I don't think that I'll lean too much into that. To be fair, I think he'll go DCL. But we need people closer to him, and if we're not going to get that at Ellen Road, when are we going to get it? So hopefully that's something they've been working on. You can get hopefully Okafor in and around DCL. That's for me the recipe for success going forward. And we need some runners from midfield as well. We need some of these midfielders. We need at least one of them from this midfield three to gamble and try and get up the pitch. We don't need three to sit there in front of back four when we're conceding goals anyway. Let's go for it. Give them free rein a little bit and see what we can do at Ellen Road, lads.
Yeah, and also another thing is, we've been quite good really at having possession, and Farke will tell you that. And but there is a lot of, and it's not even really a criticism, but there is a lot of sideways lateral passing without any real attacking threat or like identity or idea. I think is the word I'm looking for. There's no real, doesn't seem to be a clear idea of what we're doing when we've got the ball.
No.
But that's kind of coming slowly as the season's gone on. Like I felt like we did have a very clear idea at the beginning of the season. So I think clarity of what we're trying to do is important, and moving the ball with a decent amount of tempo on the transition when we do have space in behind, I think is key for this team. Because once a team actually gets in its shape and becomes organised, that's where we really struggle. And I mean really struggle. whilst they're still scrambling to get back into their shape, I think that's when we can take advantage. And I think we've got to be aggressive in that transition and not be scared to go for it in transition.
Not be
Yeah, no,
scared
I
to lose the
agree. I
ball.
agree.
Not be scared to give the opposition the ball back. It's fine. Like you've got to go quickly, but you've got to be willing to lose the ball. And I think that's the problem. We're not, and that's why he prefers Aronson, because Aronson, like we watched James come on against Forest, he ran in behind a lot. He has attacking intent. He's willing to try and take someone on. I don't think Farke really likes that. He wants to try and keep the ball. He wants to control the ball whilst we have the ball. The opposition can't score. I think it's a defensive mindset, not designed for us to score goals. But opposition in Premier League will find ways to score goals against us. So if we've got that mindset, we will lose more games of football than we win, and that's what's happening ultimately. So I can't see him having a personality change over the transfer window. So it'll probably carry on being the same, and that's it.
Unfortunately, I agree.
But they say the board are giving these 4 games, which I think is quite interesting, and I think the board almost wants. I feel like, and I put words in everyone's mouth here, I feel like board almost want Farke to sack himself, so they're giving him enough time. I think they want it to be cut and dried. So so I think they want 95, 98, whatever percentage of the fan base be on board with getting rid of Farke. So I think giving him these 4 games, I think they think is enough to make that change. I think that's where their heads are at. It's the only thing
I've got to say though, AJ, I'm not a fan of that. I am not a fan of that.
No, I'm with you, mate.
If like, say for instance, if you're the boss of your business, you make the right decision for that business, no matter what the outside noise is.
100%.
Yeah.
So
100%.
for me, it's the same in sporting capacity. Parag Marathe and the 49ers are running this ship, and they should have. And this might sound a bit odd to people listening, but they should have a certain degree of feeling to, well, a certain degree of respect to the feeling outside of the building, but that should never impact on when and how a decision is made.
No, it's a sport. It should be a sporting decision, a purely business sporting decision.
I personally think, lads, he's been given this time because if there wasn't the international break, and you know my thoughts, even if we beat Villa, I still advocate for a change as soon as possible, really, because I'm just that confident we'll stay up. Nothing personal, that's just how I think. But I sort of look at the Villa game being at home and sort of, if he wouldn't have had the international break, probably would have given the Villa game. It would only because of the international break I would like, do it now. The Villa game for me probably was the final straw. It just felt a little bit iffy giving him it with it being the other side of that international break. So I kind of think the Villa game is probably just on their part. You know, they've got a relationship. They've been together. They've built something great. Come up through Championship. It's probably for them. I think they'll look at that and go, yeah, the Villa game's the one. If they loses that, if they're not already, maybe they start looking and speaking. If they're not already.
As I said to you, mate, like a sporting decision that I can make some sense of is Farke's is likely to win the Villa game as a new manager because we've been okay at home, so that's fine. True. You know, there's something in that, rightly or wrongly. People think differently about it, but I can see some merit in that argument and debate. And then you think next 3 games, if a new manager does come in, so he plays Villa in those 3 games, then likely to lose them no matter who's in charge. So then you don't get any new manager bounce, and the players might lose a little bit of faith in this new guy coming in, and it might look worse than what Farke's doing now because you're trying to implement change in some of the biggest matches. But of course, you've just got to do it somewhere, and that's why the beginning of the international break would have made sense. But of course, then hardly any players are around either. They're even on holiday or playing international football. So it's not as sort of ideal sort of window as it looks from the outset, I think, once you think about it as much. But yeah, I mean, this 4 game thing's kind of nonsense as well, because what's 4 games? You know, what difference that make? You got to look at the underlying and what you think about what he's going to do, and whether you think whether we beat Villa 3-0 or lose to Villa 3-0. By the way, it shouldn't even be about that. It's about the overall season and whether he can keep us up or not. Whether he's the right guy to keep us up, and that's it. Be all and end all. And people can think he is, and people can think he's not. That's fine, but I don't think he is, and that's where we are. That's where I am.
Yeah, that's where I am too. Just a quick, and I am starring chats as always. So if I am skipping over yours, Rysel, there's a couple in bank for you, mate. There, but yeah, no, I agree. Foster shirt, has it been stolen? No, mate. I've been painting and decorating. That wall's just been papered. So yeah, it's out of the way. So before we move on to my favourite quiz, Defeat the Ladder, I just want to mention last night, Joe Lynch from the Leeds View, unbelievable night, won 2 awards, content creator, best content creator in the Premier League and best Premier League podcast. Unbelievable to be there with him. Really enjoyed the experience and well deserved against some really big big channels there. So yeah, smashed that out of the park. I reached 4K, which is brilliant as well. Thank you for everyone's support. Absolutely amazing to have done that in like 13 months. Thanks to Bossnass, thanks to Sean Wilco Whites, and thanks to AG and everybody who is associated with the channel, the friends I've made. You all are absolutely class. I just wanted to bring that up. Really appreciate it. Please smash a like on this video. I think we're on 30 odd likes and there's 104 watching. So let's get those likes up, please, if you don't mind, while we're waffling at 20 past 10 on a Friday night. But here is the quiz that everybody waits all week for. Also, I'm told a few wait for. I certainly do. And I hope it's a good one, but not too hard this week, Bossnass. But this is Defeat the Ladder.
Yeah, big thanks to the INBL members group for sorting this one out. I have absolutely no control over how difficult this one is, so I will be taking absolutely zero flack for it. All right, that's as simple as that. Quick one for the people that haven't seen this before. It's 10-question quiz. You can't get 2 questions wrong in a row, and that's about as simple as it is. Right, and you've got to get the last question right to defeat the ladder. So here we are with question 1. And boys, don't even give me the eyes when you hear these. I haven't done it. Who was sent off versus Barcelona in the second leg of the European Cup in 1975?
Oh my God. Who's done that? Come on. Come on.
That's Nige, isn't it?
I have got some spares. Do you want me to miss that one off?
Yeah, just miss that one out. Come on. Someone's going to get that in chat straight up, but yeah, skip that
That's
one.
Nige. I bet it's Nige.
That's a shocker, that one.
Right, boys, on the
Start again.
Hey, listen, you think I'm harsh with these questions? I'm not harsh at all, mate.
No, apparently not.
Right, who scored the first goal directly after the Spygate saga?
Oh, my word.
Who did we even play?
Derby, wasn't it? Is that the game after, wasn't it? After Spygate? That was the whole point. Is it the Derby game?
The detail of that is not in my question, boys.
Well, I think Kamar Roof is what I think.
Fine, I don't know.
Kamar Roof. I remember him scoring against Derby, so I'm going to go Kamar Roof.
You're locking it in?
Locking the Roof in, yeah.
That's class, mate. You got it.
Get up.
That's class.
Come on, I'll take that one.
You really do impress me with this. It absolutely boggles my mind.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Right, so this would be question 3, but it's actually question 2.
Go on.
How many times did Leeds score at least 4 goals in the 91-92 title-winning season?
Oh, wow.
I'll give you a bracket here to make it fair, right? So I know the answer, and I'll give you 2 either side. How many times did they score 4 goals? At least 4 goals.
Wasn't that many?
3. 3. I think 3.
What's 2 either side of 3, though? I know it's 1 and 5. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly.
But,
come on, mate.
Yeah, but
Did you feel stupid when you said that, AJ?
No. What I was trying to what I was trying to say was it sounded stupid. I agree. What I was trying to say was 2 either side. You can't be 3, surely. Thing is, for last week's quiz, I went through the scores about 15 times because I did how many clean sheets we kept, didn't I?
Actually, yeah.
Which is 22. So I looked at that over and over and over. I didn't think we scored from going through that. I don't think we scored 4 goals. I think 3 is a fair shout. 1 to 5 is decent.
Honestly, Daniel Farke, get on with it, mate.
What are you locking in?
3.
3.
Oh,
you boys, you won off. They did it 6 times.
Oh my God.
All right.
Oh, let's see what chat was saying.
That's what I said.
You do have to get the next one correct. Oh God. God. I'm going to change it for you.
Ask, change it, but ask it anyway. Go, what was it? Just out of interest.
No, I can't change it. It's got to come later in the quiz when you've got one
Oh,
right.
God. All right, okay, yeah, make it easy for now, yeah.
Who scored a hat-trick as a substitute against Bristol City in 2010? And I will, to be very, very kind, I will give multiple choice on this one if it is required, because people don't think I'm being too hospitable here. This is a solid quiz.
Right. Give us multiple choice on this, please. I've got someone in my head, but he sounds so random I don't want to say it unless he's on this list.
Right, hang on. Was it A, Luciano Becchio? Was it B, Bradley Johnson? Was it C, Max Gradle? Or was it D, Jermaine Beckford?
That's not what I was expecting. Thank God I didn't say what I'm thinking. Oh, we're
Is
out.
it
We're out.
Gradle? Is it Gradle?
We're out. We're out. Gradle never got an hat-trick, mate.
Didn't he?
Not front wing, mate. Surely it's Becky or Beckford, and it's toss a coin and we've lost here, isn't it? And then it's just play through. This is what you could have had.
See, I thought Snodgrass, but then obviously it's not on the list. So
I think it's got to be Beckford, me, mate.
go on then.
It's got to be Mr. Jermaine. It's got to be Jermaine Becchio.
Well, I'm definitely not having that.
Beckford.
Locking it in.
Oh, it's going to be wrong because I said it's Wellard, and that's the most obvious answer. Honestly, yeah, lock it in.
Becchio.
Oh, whose question was that?
I can't remember. I've just put them in my notes because I copied and pasted them.
You animals.
Right, boys. This is what you would have had for the question that you needed to get right.
So we've lost.
Which two teams did have Leeds beaten in the two Intercities Cup finals? I need both answers.
Don't ever ask the group chat to do this again.
I know,
Never.
What is their problem?
Never. Thought they were supposed to like us.
They've done you in here. They've done you in big time.
I don't
No,
know.
I've got no idea. I've got no idea.
One team I've never even heard of.
Exactly.
Great. Well, good.
How good's that?
Right, the first team is Ferencváros.
Yeah, cheers, Duncan. That's clearly you. Cheers, pal.
And the second team was Juventus.
Cheers, Dunk. Well done, big Dunk. Cheers, lad. Yep, move on. No idea.
Which two players started every game in 2020?
Which player played every game in 2020?
Which two players?
Which two? Is that the season we came up?
It's the one after 2019.
I think one of them's Ben White.
Oh.
I think Ben White played in every game and then scored his goal in that volley towards the end. I think Ben White played in every game. I think it was that season. I hope it was that season. That is the season after we didn't. Yeah, I think it is. I'm going Ben White and I reckon Luke Haley might have done it, or is it a bit too?
Luke Haynes. Oh, I don't. Ayling and White.
Oh, Dallas.
Boys, you got one out of the two, which is fair. It was Ayling and Dallas.
Ayling and Dallas. Oh, I really thought Ben White. That'd be a good shout, that wasn't it? I thought that'd be right. That.
We're going back to the ditched question because if you get it somehow, it will just be scenes because this is solid, man. Who was sent off versus Barcelona in the second leg of the European Cup in 1975?
Ah, good with 70s, mate. I don't know if you realise.
Really cool second name. Really cool.
Oh,
Foster. Mike Foster. Really cool second name.
Really cool.
Cool second name.
Oh. Is God.
Well, I think they all got cool names because they were winners.
I presume that's more of a clue than you're giving it, Matty.
Well, you've lost the quiz, so we just move on. It was
let's move on.
Gordon McQueen.
Gordon McQueen, yeah.
Oh, yeah, see, it's a good clue.
Right, here we go, boys. Which goalkeeper has the most appearances for Leeds United all time? It's usually better than this. Anybody that's new to tuning in, they usually get at least 4.
Usually we know at least one of the answers out of 10. Most goalkeeper appearances. How long was Martin here? Like,
I'm a quizmaster, mate.
Only ones I think of were like legendary in my head and Martin, and then is it Sprake? Is he? Would he rev his name as Sprake? Sprake.
Well,
Spricky. Martin, Sprake.
Let's say Martin because we both is our favourite.
Martin.
Right, boys, the answer is John Lukic with 431 appearances.
Never.
I was saying from Lukic.
What's chat saying? Lukic anywhere?
There ain't no Lukic's.
Wow. No. Wow.
No one knows.
By the way, boys, I haven't VAR'd any of this, so it could be an absolute shambles, but I don't think it is.
No one knows anything about Leeds United in the chat on this stream.
Right, this one's a good one. This comes in via Sean Carney of Wilco White's. Go there.
Okay.
Right,
Here we go. There
Right.
we go.
Where we are. And boys, if I haven't picked any of your questions, you did really well. You gave me loads of them, and I tried to pick the easiest ones, which is an illustration of
Wow.
how.
Mental.
Right, Sean Carney. Right, here we go. Right. What's the question say again? Name 4 players who have played for both Arsenal and Leeds.
Ooh.
Rocastle.
There's 10, so you only have to. You got a good chance here.
Rocastle. Shit, I'm out.
They've just got to have played for both. It doesn't matter if he's come from Arsenal. Just have played for both clubs.
Both.
Ben White.
Oh yeah, good one. Yeah.
Boys,
Yeah. And Nketiah. Okay, good. We're getting somewhere here. Ben White.
Boys, I'm gonna have to nip off. My son's coughing. It could be a thing. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Right, we'll crack on. We can't continue with the quiz. We will crack on.
Well, it was going so well as well.
Mate, honestly, that was a brutal quiz. I ain't gonna lie. That was probably up there as the worst quiz out of the lot.
The worst.
So we can no longer,
mate. It's the worst quiz I've ever seen. Of any quiz anywhere
in the history of quizzes.
Yeah.
And I watched The Chase like most nights, mate, and that just took the piss.
It's bang out of order.
Yeah, well, it is because I'll genuinely, it's like my favourite part of the show now. Or right up there anyway, Mr. Whitesnake's point. But I love this quiz, and it's
I
just
get in the 1% club all the time, and I sit here and I can't bloody do 1 plus or 3 plus 2.
Honestly, unbelievable. Right then, let's see if our Theo can rescue the day with Theo's thoughts. So this is this week's Theo's thoughts. This week's Theo's thoughts. Boo. Right then, son. So Leeds United have been up against it recently. We keep losing week after week after week. Playing Aston Villa on Sunday, though.
Yeah.
What's that face for? What do you think?
I don't know.
You think it's going to be tough?
Yeah.
Why are Aston Villa good?
I'll start and play FIFA.
Well, it's at Leeds, it's at Ellen Road, so I'm going to it. But yeah, we've lost. We've only won 1 game in the last 6.
Because of Wolves.
Because of Wolves. We beat Wolves.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I meant.
So, they're 6th in the table. We're 17th in the table.
Oh my god.
Exactly. What do you reckon the score's going to be? And you can be honest. Do you want me to tell you my score first?
Yeah.
I think Leeds are going to lose.
Yeah, that's
I am going to tell you a score. Come on, what's the score going to be?
1-0.
1-0. You normally say 0-0.
What is the video?
1-0. What do you come here, Jonah? You come here.
1-0.
Jonah, what do you think the score's going to be?
29 mils. What did that video today?
0.
What is the video?
One more bottle flip, mate, before you go. Oh! Ghetto! Ghetto! Theo, what's another name for a trump?
First.
Oh, sorry, boys, I can't help it. I just let him literally do it once for about 2 minutes. But yeah, he has to have a dog trump at the end of it now. It's like his thing. But yeah, everything okay, Bossnass?
Yeah, false alarm, boys. It's just one of those where I've got to just go check.
Of course it is. Can you please tell us the answer to the Arsenal thing? Because
David O'Leary. David O'Leary is a good one.
We will go back to it. You got Rocastle.
Yeah. And Nketiah. White.
Yeah.
O'Leary.
Smashed it, boys.
Obviously. Get in.
Right, and then there's a few more questions, and then I don't know what you're on. I think you've got like 3 right, which sounds about right.
It's been a bad one.
We got like
right, questions coming in. Thank you very much, appreciated, Nige. Right, here we go. Which ex-Leeds player was on the bench for Arsenal when they came to Elland Road in November 2000?
Please repeat.
Which ex-Leeds player was on the bench for Arsenal when they came to Elland Road in the year 2000? Y2K, baby.
Have we? But no. So it wasn't Nketiah.
In year 2000?
2000, mate.
Oh, sugar.
Not even born, mate.
I thought 2020. Like, I don't know, do I? Right. 2000. Okay, ex-Leeds player. Bear with me, guys. Come on.
Honestly,
Just give me a chance.
I ain't got a clue. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't got a clue.
I'll tell you. I'll give you a clue. It's been mentioned already today.
Too far.
Goalkeeper.
I'm not telling you that. I'll give you a clue.
Okay. Well, you didn't say no.
Have a guess.
Lukic.
Correct.
Yeah, well played. Well played. We'll take that. I
Right,
had no
boys.
idea. No idea.
Last two. Which
Come on.
Leeds player received his marching orders after a Dennis Bergkamp dive at Elland Road in April? Again, Y2K, year 2000.
Oh, Bergkamp dive. Was it? Did Lucas get sent off?
Yeah, the chief.
You're locking it in, boys?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, the chief.
It was Ian Hart.
Oh God.
Breaking my heart. Breaking it.
Right, here we go. A few Arsenal questions in here because I picked these because I thought with AG's association with Arsenal as his dad and that. Right, who scored a goal on debut for Leeds against Arsenal at the start of the 1997-1998 season
Who scored on debut?
for Leeds against Arsenal? And I've only got initials, mate. I don't even know who this player is.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Well, it's brilliant when you don't know no answer. It's a cracking quiz.
Shambles.
Cracking quiz.
Boys, members of the. I don't think the members are going to get this responsibility again.
A-H. Just guessing letters now. Oh, honestly, no idea.
No,
mate.
I want to know if you guys know this player. When I say the initials, he scored.
Go on,
his
say the
debut.
initials. That's the new question.
Jimmy.
JFH.
Oh, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Do you know what? I thought it
Floyd.
can't be Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank because because you would know JFH. Because I was going to answer Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. I thought it can't be that.
Just in my brain, bro. Here's what it is.
Unbelievable.
So
That's it. I think he got 3 out of 10, which is statistically the worst performance to date. But in your defence, it was a members' quiz and it was tough.
Yeah, I think it's more a reflection of them.
Yeah.
To be fair. So that's flawed me. We have just been defeated by the last. Hang your head in shame, AG. I will too. Let's just have a
I answered. I think I might have answered more than you.
I think that is a real. That's a. Look at that there. This quiz is like something for Phoenix Nights, and I love it. That's what we're all about, Liam Moore. That's what we're all about. Yeah, I am gutted because that's my favourite part of the show. So, night, everybody.
We're back. We're back to the normal kind of level next week. Do you know what I mean?
Look at that, Bill straight in there. No hate on the members. You guys asked, we delivered. Well,
you delivered something.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, he delivered something. I ain't gonna lie, but no, happy days. Absolutely love that. Funny as fuck. Right, boys, let's move on to the Villa preview. Right, let's get straight into this. Leeds Villa, 2:00 Sunday. By the time we play, we may be in the bottom three.
Well, don't about that.
By the time we end the game, we may be firmly in the bottom three. Yeah, it's a bit of a scary position to be in. Are you having a look at him? Are you telling me if I'm factually correct?
I'm telling you. Well,
look at Robbo there. The 20-foot cock and balls, man. It looks like nothing else. Got 40 kids in casualty with rubber burns. However it goes. Funny as honestly. I'm watching that when I go to bed tonight. Absolutely class. But yeah, I presume we can be, AG. There'll be a lot of people playing.
Yeah, we're a point above it, so absolutely.
So we could be in the bottom three, which is worrying. Could be quite hard to get out of it. But yeah, it's a massive game. Arguably, in my eyes, a bigger game probably for Farke than it is for Leeds United. I don't know if you agree with that. But yeah, my head is firmly up my arse when it comes to this run of fixtures. And Villa, unbelievable side, unbelievable coach, man for man, lads. Better, every player in their position, arguably better than every single player that we've got. The coach is unbelievable. Tactician, he's won decent honours in the game. Is it? I know you're saying you're Optimistic, Bossnass, yeah, and maybe that's just sod it. Let's just try and breathe some optimism. But how can you bridge the gap of every player's better quality wise, and the manager is on a different planet to what we've got? And I don't think that's wild. How do we compete in this game? Because that's the word for me. Compete. We haven't. We've competed well against decent sides this season, where the gap of quality has been vast. This is what I need to see on Sunday. How do we?
Because
close that?
it's about instilling confidence and a plan into your players. I mean, what kind of odds would you have got at the bookies? And sorry for people that get triggered by the word Sunderland, but what kind of odds would you have got at the bookies for Sunderland to go down to Chelsea and beat them at Stamford Bridge and then pick up a point against Arsenal in injury time? What odds are you going to get on that?
Yeah, it's
like at the end of the day, it is a game of football. The players that we have got, we've got some of them that have played in European competitions. They've been coached at elite level. Whether you like to think Farke is a tactically inept manager, is at the minute it's up for debate, and it's a fair debate. And look, I'll say this all the time: like, everybody's opinion is valid and should be heard, right? But it's one of those where it's you have to. Every player has to be at least an 8 out of 10. You need a couple of their players to have a bit of an off day. You do need fair weather conditions. You need everything going, and you need the effort. The one thing that does my head in more than anything in football as a Leeds fan is when I don't see the required effort. If you lose to a better team who's got better players, but you're literally crawling off the pitch at 90 minutes, everyone in there will clap you off, and they'll sing for the full 90. And they'll give everybody the dues. I think what's really, really got under people's skin is that for a couple of games, that fight just doesn't seem to have been there. That determination, that desire to get to that ball, the second ball, just doesn't seem to be where it should be in the Premier League. And if you don't have that, it doesn't matter how you're good and how good you are. Any team can turn you over in the Premier League. If you do not have that application in what you're doing, you will get turned over. So it's about getting back to basics, getting back to what we did at the beginning of the season. We've proved that we can do it. There is absolutely no barrier to going back to that. So it's all about being prepared properly, taking advantage of home surroundings and applying yourself properly. And if you do that, you've got a chance.
Yeah, no, 100%. Stephen Ollie says here, look, to beat Villa, you need to bully them. We manage a draw with 10 men. You'll beat them by battering them physically. So that's what I want to see, Adam.
That's all we've got. Like, if you start by outrunning them, you start by being more aggressive in challenges, and aggressive anytime you can be. And in defence, you set up and you probably set up in a mid block, and because they'll be very possession heavy, very much so. They're quite slow in their build up. They play through the centre a lot. I'll say they're quite slow in the build up. They can go direct as well, to be fair, but with Rodgers and Watkins. But I think defensively, you can set up a structure that can nullify them. But it's in attack. It's an attack, and it's hacking intent, and that's where what Aronson annoys more than anything. He has no attacking intent. Aronson never runs in behind, ever. We need to run in behind. If they're playing a high line, we've got to run in behind. We've got to lift it over. We've got to do the things they don't want us to do. Don't just play the ball in front of them slowly. If we do that, we lose the game. Be aggressive off the ball, but be aggressive on the ball. And that's what is in our do everything in our control to win the game, which I don't think we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm really worried about the little pocket of space we've seen Leeds leave between the midfield and the defence when you've got someone like Buendia and Rodgers, because they're really good at picking up those little areas, and they can shoot from distance. They can shoot from outside the box. So I'm worried about what they're going to bring. You know, Buendia, how many times we've been linked with him in past? For me, it's nailed on he scores a goal at some point at Ellen Road. And I'm really concerned about Watkins has not been in form in terms of goal scoring, but we know what he brings. He's going to give our centre-halves a torrid time. For me, he doesn't stop running. You can never switch off. He's a goal scorer. Again, I'd back him to probably end that goal drought as well at Ellen Road. So I think going up top, I'm really concerned about what they've got to offer. And when you look at our defence, how it's been recently, switching off at key moments, allowing space in and around our centre-halves, in between the centre-halves and the midfield, it's been so easy to get shots on goal against us. Does Ellen Road, as someone said earlier, Farke keeps mentioning the fortress that is Ellen Road. And there is something in that. One loss in 14 months, that's fine. But again, we haven't faced opposition like we're going to face now.
Yeah.
We haven't. It's about
It's not
to hit
Plymouth,
us now
is it?
all in one. No,
Yeah.
there's a
It's
massive
not
difference.
Cardiff.
Exactly. And I know Villa seems the most likely to get points in just based on the other couple of games we've got coming up. But like there's something in it when you look and go, just because it's at Ellen Road, it can't mask over 11 players they've got being better than 11 players we've got and a manager that's so good. So that's why no matter what, I'm going to the game, you know me, and I'll cheer the boys on, but I still just cannot foresee how, with the current confidence we've got, even it'll be a nervy Ellen Road as well, boys. It'll be bouncing, will bring energy, but it's going to be a nervy Ellen Road. If we concede early, I don't want to say it'll go toxic. The ground's always the last place to go toxic, always. I think we're still a few games off that, I ain't going to lie. I think get beat by Villa, maybe get spanked at City, and that may start to turn if he's still in at that point. But I think it's going to be a very nervy Ellen Road, and everyone knows the writing's on the wall if we go down early in this game for me, because if we've got to marshal the troops and try and get up and come back from a goal behind at Ellen Road, I think we get caught, and it could be a bit of a cricket score. I think Villa are that good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, mate. And it's one of those, isn't it? And I don't want to sound like I haven't got my way for B, way for A, any of that. But I remember watching the World Cup, the one with the vuvuzelas, and they did my head in. I hope they did everybody else's head in. But I distinctly remember that tournament where it was like very compact in defence, and what they would do is they would all kind of go to move with the ball, like slide with the ball, so you could be compact. And yes, you're leaving that long diag on, but as soon as you see it in the air, you shift to that. And it was so hard to break down. Some of those games at the World Cup that year were so boring, so lacking of goals, because it was just so difficult to break down. But we need to. It's all about what happens on the training pitch, right? It's all about what happens on the training pitch. You've got to prepare properly for it, and it's one of those things. You want these things to become almost muscle memory when you're playing against certain types of football teams. Obviously, things have to change with different teams that you play, but compact defensively, but be expansive and be confident in what you're doing going forward, and don't be scared to take a chance. Yeah, that's what AG was saying. Don't be scared stiff to lose the ball. And I think we can do something. Look, if this game's over at half time, that's when you could potentially see the first murmurings of a Elland Road that's not very happy. I believe that.
Yeah,
we win this game by Villa having 55 to 60% possession. Let them have the ball in front of us. And when we go to have the ball, we need not keep the ball. We need to not worry about possession. We need to not worry about losing the ball and getting forward quickly. That's how we win this game. Villa haven't got a Semenyo, a Kudo, someone that's going to walk past 4 players and put it in top corner. Rogers and Buendia are talented guys, but they're not. I don't think they're that good in terms of that element of it. They're both talented and they're a great unit. Dinya coming forward, Cash, etc. Even Watkins is a menace, but you can mark him, you can play him out of the game. He's a great system player, but you can deal with him. Again, he's not going to walk past 3 players and score a goal. So as a system, you can set up to nullify them. You just can, but you've got to do it. And I say, but then you've got to be willing to take a risk on the ball, and it's no risk. I always liked Brentford when they played like last season. They've had Mbermo and Vissa, 2 really good attackers. They did all this hacking through them. They just attacked quickly, and they were both always up there, quick, lively, could beat a man, could run in behind, great touch, could score goals. And they really simplified the game of football by most people defending, get full quick, get the ball up to them so as quickly as possible, and try and run the channels, run in behind. I think we can do that sort of thing. We can do it with Dan James, but we've got to be willing to do it. And at the moment, I say we haven't been willing to do it. But that's the only way you get away with this game of football. Better coach, yeah, whatever. But better players, yes. But actually, I say it's mayhem, and doing everything they don't want us to do is how we win this game of football. Not playing the ball around in front of them, because that's exactly what they want. And Emery will laugh about that, and he'll pick us off. They just will.
Am I putting too much gloss on Villa, stating that for me, they have to have an off day and we have to play almost at our best? Or is that what we need to do against the City, or Chelsea, or Liverpool? Am I glossing Villa a bit too much there?
I don't think it's about being at our best. I think personally, we have to be very good, and they might have to be slightly worse than the best. Yeah. Agreed. But actually, I think it's about having the right tactics and the right team setup to hurt them. That's what we got to do more than anything else.
I agree with Matty on that. I think Villa on their pomp, on their best day, beat Leeds no matter what Leeds do.
That's how I feel.
And I know that's like, that sounds horrible, doesn't it, as a Leeds fan, but it is what it is. We're a newly promoted team. The issue that I kind of have is, and it's a suspicion that I've had for a little while, is that teams seem to be like progressing and getting into gear and finding new gears and kind of discovering who's going to be their difference makers this season, where I feel like we're slightly regressing in that manner. I think we had a much clearer idea at the start of the season. I think things are getting confused. I think we're mixing styles. We're trying to play a short passing game at the back, but we're trying to be physical and powerful up front. Well, if you can bypass better technical players in the midfield, I think that's a good idea with the players that we've got. So yeah, I have a feeling. I just want to see this regression stop and just go back to default. If that Everton game's the default,
yeah,
they go back to the default.
That first 45 class against Everton, best I've seen us play. But yeah, I wanted to bring your team on, AG. So this is a little bit of an unusual looking lineup. So please talk us through.
Let's go.
This is what you want. This is what you want.
It bores me just going. I think because sometimes I go halfway on what Farke thinks, etc. I want to see three at the back. I think we're built for that, and I think in terms of the centre backs we have, I think they'd all be better in a three. Actually, Rodon doesn't really matter either way, to be fair. But I think Bijou and Strauch would be. And they also then offer, when you have got a corner or a free kick, those three can all go forward. And I think we're a much bit better threat. I think they're all good in the air and all threats. The Bogan Gudmundsson, I think, can get up and down fine. Then I think if you're picking a two in midfield, two centre midfielders. Now I've dropped Longstaff and Ampadu in this, which I think is quite big. But I think you pick your best destroyer and your best ball player. And for me, Stack is our best destroyer and Snack is our best ball player in centre midfield. So I just went, okay, well that's the two that makes most sense to me. Then I want to get James up level with DCL and beyond him. I want to get James beyond him quite a lot. I want to see when there's knock-ons, James always running off him, always looking for that second ball, and maybe a little bit more width from James. Knock for tucking in, and then also this gives the option, of course, when if you are sitting back in that mid block or a low block, even you can go to a 5-4-1 and sit into that as well at times if you need to during the game. But in general, Joe, should we do Joe Blackburn? Should we do let's do a cricket podcast? Me and you. There you go. I was up last night for it mentally.
No one's watching that.
They are. People like cricket, just not you lot.
I used to play cricket at school. It was class. You used to miss a full afternoon.
Oh yeah, great. And I used to do every PE thing I could to miss lessons, class. Yeah. So yeah, athletics, hurdles. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, that's why I've done this team. I think the most controversial bit there really is not playing Ampadu or Longstaff. Longstaff for me isn't a two in midfield guy. I don't think he's good enough on the ball in tight spaces to play that two role. And I'm saying you pick your best destroyer, and that is just Stack. Stack's been doing that destroyer role exemplary over in Germany for a long time. Exemplary.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. I like you to pick your side and go through what you think because it gets me excited. I'd love to see something like that, but we all know what it's going to be. And I'd like to put it to you both. The most logical sort of team is going to be a 4-3-3. Personnel-wise, if it is the same system, boys, and we'll turn it out again and let's go do it at Ellen Road. I think he'll keep it the same system because we're at Ellen Road, because it's been working to a degree at Ellen Road. What do you think he'll do in terms of lineup? Because for me, Bossnass, there is definitely a conversation over Stack maybe playing in the deeper role and Ampadu coming out based on form. That what happened, we know that. And I also maybe look at the be-all for Strauch and obviously Aronson, James Aronson, no. They're the three I look at and think potentially maybe a change, but probably not. How do you see it?
Well, actually, I do pretty much see it as the same back four. I think Be-all keeps his spot just because of the performance he had for Slovenia. But again, that was in a back three, which a back three really does cover for his lack of pace. He doesn't have to worry about getting out to the ball when and getting put on an island. Yeah. it's not great when you've got a defender that can get put on an island because doesn't have that speed to recover. So I think he will stick with Biel based on his performances in the international break, but I think that's misguided. That potentially I would bring Stroud back in, but I think it will be Biel. So, and then the three in midfield, I think it will be Stack, Longstaff, and Ampadu. I can't lie. I think it's going to be safety first, and I hope it's not. But it's just a feeling I've got. I've got Aronson and obviously Okafor, and then DCL.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. I mean, do you think there's anything in the fact that Biel's been away with Slovenia, not been at Thorpe Arch, that he may go with Stroud because he's worked with him for 2 weeks, or is that a bit of an idiot way of looking at it?
I don't know. I think he's in danger of I think he's in danger of being accused of not knowing his best players, to being accused of not understanding or not being where he should be at with his squad, because it can't be Biel, Stroud. Eventually, you've got to go, this is my guy, and we need to build relationships, play ourselves into form, unless it's an absolute clanger, in which case then you do make the sub. I understand that, but
yeah,
it's not going to build confidence in the dressing room. It don't build confidence in your manager, for players to be thinking, does he actually know what he's doing? Because 1 week I'm in, 1 week I'm out. Is this the okie-dokie? Are we in the Premier League? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, we can't just bring players on the bench from the bench because the first team's losing games of football. We can't reward those bench players because the first team are losing. That wouldn't be the right thing to do.
Yeah, true.
No, not true. That's what Farke said. You got.
I also think there is an outside chance that James does play. I think.
I hope so. I think he's
hope
such a difference maker. I say that the element of mayhem, carnage, running in behind, those second balls, he'll put his foot in, he'll put his head in. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, with James, I think after seeing his presser today, he's going to go with Aronson. If I'm honest, just by the way speaking,
I would find that incredible. I would find that incredible. I think he will, but I think he will. I will find it incredible.
It feels borderline crazy to think he will turn that same side out that played Forest. But this is where the stubborn streak comes in. This is where, if it goes right for him, he can hang his hat on the fact that we were wrong and he were right. But I just don't foresee how a side as good as them will face that side that faced Forest. Just because at Ellen Road it'll work. I just don't see how that happens for me. I would like to see Stroud come back in. I think other than that, I think it'll be the same. I think Stroud for Biel personally, and then other than that, I think it'll be the same team.
I do get a feeling. I do get a feeling, and I don't know if it's that same thing with accountability. And this is a feeling, not a fact. It's just a feeling that I get, that he might be one of those people that really doesn't like to be. He doesn't like to take any kind of self-responsibility for things when they go wrong. That's just my kind of experience of it from listening to him in press conferences. So that kind of tells me, would he be willing to keep putting out the same team because he's that wanting to be proven right, that he's willing to do that? I don't know.
I think that's his leadership style. I think he thinks a good leader doesn't show any failings, fatality, or whatever at all.
Yeah.
I think that's great, and I think ultimately he then thinks making changes is showing that as well. Potential chinks in the armor and failings, etc. So I think that's why he sticks with it. I think that's what he thinks a good leader is: someone that doesn't show really personality, someone that shows, say no sort of slight failings in anything he does, and admits fault in anything. I think that's what he thinks a good leader is, and I think that bleeds into every decision he does as a result.
Yeah, no, true. I think it's quite mad how 11 games in, we still don't really know our best combinations, especially at centre half. I mean, let's be fair. Who's been the better goalkeeper this season, Darlow or Petty? Aren't too sure. If I can't really tell you who should play. All I can say is Petty should play because he cost 15 million quid. Is that a fair assumption? I'd say it is.
Yeah.
Oh no, Petty will play, but could you? It's an argument that Witchen's actually been better. You look at your centre half partnership. Rodon starts. Who should partner him if it's staying as a 2? You know, again, there's an argument for both. Does Farke know his best combination? Probably not. Midfield three, again, one of them's always, you know, is going to lose out. Tanaka looks the likely one to miss out most games. He's the best. He's for me, it looks like that's the way it's going to be, AG, especially away from home. It probably should be.
100%. But if you're playing this ball retention stuff,
yeah, it should be in the side.
Because Stacker's a wide centre midfielder. I quite like it as a box crasher, as someone that runs around the pitch and just gets involved in duels. I quite like that player. Just links play. I quite like it, but it's not how we try and use him. I don't think we want him running around. I don't think we want to spread out a game. I don't think we don't want transitions either way, which is fine, transitions against us. We don't want transitions for us either, because we think that might offer them a transition as a result. So we're utilising Stacker away that makes no sense for him in a free. And as Bossnass said about earlier in the season, I think we were used to, he was a better player. I know he has had rib issue, etc., because we were playing a bit more to his strengths. And now we're not playing to his strengths at all. And I think we're not playing to a lot of people's strengths. And the system, I think a lot of the players are being let down by the system and looking, I'm not saying they're world beaters, but I think they're looking slightly worse or very much worse because of the system.
What I'll say is I do have a bit of sympathy with Farke in the sense of, how do you find balance in this team when both the attack and the defence are underachieving? When one of them is excelling and one of them is underachieving, you can take a bit of that. You can take a bit of that part of the team which is excelling and sacrifice it in order to give you a bit more balance. Either, you know, playing a more defensive style player or a player with more defensive attributes and take a more attacking player out to try and restore the balance. But when you've got a defence which is now struggling and an attack which is devout of goals, it is a bit of a riddle to find the balance, because you could go, right, we're gonna bet on ourselves to outscore everybody, and we're gonna play Dan James, Willie Nonto, Okafor. We're gonna force Okafor to play as the main striker. We're gonna put James and Nonto either side of him and just go balls to the walls, and we're gonna go for goals.
Yeah.
Or you could go, I'm going to try and keep as many clean sheets and get the odd goal to pick up the odd win and see if we can do it that way. But when you've got a defence and an attack which is underachieving, it's difficult to find that balance. And I do feel for him in that sense.
I think that's fair. I think we were better early season defensively, because we very much defensively we use the mid block and only really engage people when they come into a half. And then I think we went for a period of where we tried to do a bit more of a high press and we had a few high turnovers and it created some chances and a little bit of mayhem as a result. But I very much prefer the mid block only engaging when they come into a half. I think that's the biggest difference we've seen. I think we're a bit more spread out because of the high press. Spurs they invited it on. They used their press against us. Because it's very much ball orientated, very much follow the ball around rather than man as a press. Bielsa's obviously man press, go with the man, wasn't ball orientated at all. Whereas Farke's very much ball orientated. And I think some teams now are picking us off because Romero had the ball, just waited for 2 or 3 to come over into the area. They left 2 or 3 the other side and just pinged it. And then they're off every single time. They did it 3 or 4 or 5 times during the match. And I think that's the biggest difference. We're playing stretch games of football. Bournemouth, we were good, but we could have easily lost that. They could have scored a couple more goals. Spurs could have scored a couple more goals, but so could we. But that's almost the mayhem we need in these games to get a result at home. So, as you say, Bossnass, then where is the balance in that? It's tough, because even if you're getting the chances and DCL's missing them, then you're not doing anything still. You're still not just scoring. So that's
Rice brings up a great point in saying, look, at this point the central midfield is getting overrun.
I agree.
So,
yeah.
There is issues everywhere on the pitch. For me, if you've got issues everywhere on the pitch in a certain shape, at some point you've got to swallow the pill and change it.
Yeah, that's why I like this though, because the 2 centre midfielders can operate as 2. We're playing. We almost play like a 4. It's called a 4-3-3, but a lot of the time it looks like a 4-1-4-1. And Amplu's very lonely in there, and he's chasing shadows a lot. And Stack and Longstaff aren't really helping him. And they're not really defensively helping much in there. I don't feel like in terms of the system at the moment. And I think, and they're quite small tweaks to find big improvements, I think. But yeah, I mean, but you got to do it. Stack's a great destroyer. He's great second balls. He's been doing it for years, and we're not utilising him for that at all. We're trying. I don't know what we're utilising for. Nothing at the moment.
It's mad when you think when we were playing well early in the season, that midfield for me. Every game I went to, I come away saying that midfield was fantastic. Whichever combination in the four, you know, whoever it was, they nailed it for the first 5-6 weeks. Bar Arsenal have played really, really well. I think the fact that Stack's definitely lost form. Let's be fair, when Stack were playing well, you looked at the stats after 5 or 6 games. You had Stack and Longstaff were right up there for big chances created in the Premier League, right behind Bruno Fernandes, which to the eye test I didn't really see, but the stats were there and they were creating big chances. Now they're not doing that. Defensively, they look off it.
Yeah.
I know we're conceding goals, we're not scoring them, but for me, the heartbeat of any side is that midfield, and that 3 looked brilliant the first half of the season. And without that midfield performing the levels it were, we're not going to be able to compete. And
can I give a bit of credit to other managers within the league, though? Because we saw this with Marcelo Bielsa. The managers in this league are elite, and I mean they're elite. They will figure you out. They will research your tape, you know, your games, like it's a PhD, and they'll look for weak points. We saw it with Marcelo when he got figured out. We ended up getting taken apart week after week. Right? Some people say we didn't have the players for it. That could be true. But the facts that we know is the teams like Arsenal, they figured out the man-for-man defending, and they figured out how to pull it apart and create massive wide openings to get the goals. Is there an argument that well, not an argument. Does anybody get the feeling that the managers in this league have kind of looked at Leeds and they found the frailties and they're just taking advantage of them?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. And they'll have the best analysts, the biggest analyst groups in the world as well of football, and they'll look at a team and go, right, okay, what are they doing? How are they trying to beat us? How are we going to beat them? And they'll if your system or your ideas, your tactics aren't clever enough, don't work, you know, like. And there's not enough depth there, then they'll find you out very, very quickly. And that's why I'm most worried this will only get worse as we go on here.
If you match our energy, and you know, if we can't outwork you, then you beat us, don't you? For me, that's how I see it. You know, what do Leeds do really well at Middle Park? They run around a lot and they're quite tough and resilient earlier on in the season. Right? Okay, match that intensity, match that battle, and you win game because you're better footballers. Simple as for me. Have as many analysts as you want. If you're a better footballer and you're up for it, and you match the intensity, you'll beat us. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to for me.
I say, but that comes down to this high press thing again. We're playing a spread out game of football. We're playing into other teams' hands. And then we've got the ball, we're playing around, slowing it back. They either wait for us, the triggers against Brighton, send BO onto his left foot by the touchline. He'll just lift the ball down the line and we'll win it back every single time. And every single time we do that, we're spread out and it looks like they have the ball. It isn't a transition, but it looks like a transition every single time. I think Stack's playing injured, by the way, because I think he's a better footballer than he's showing. I think, and that's quite the opposite of everything Farke said today about James and Nonto, who can't play football because they're not quite match sharp. And yes, we're asking Stack to play every single game of football not match sharp, which is bizarre to me. Because that's not the argument. Yeah, they're not match sharp. It's not like, okay, then who's playing right in field? Oh, Brendan Aronson. Well, how much sharp have they got to be to have a better impact than Brendan Aronson, attacking wise?
That's how I feel.
And if you're playing a 4-3-3, your wingers have got to score in a seat. They've got to. That's the game. If Theo's just there to play with his back to goal most time and just let the ball hit him in different places and bounce off different areas, which is pretty much what he's doing at the moment, he's pretty good at it, then your wingers got to score an assist. They've got to. And if you're playing a winger that doesn't score an assist, it's just so stupid.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say on it is, you know, you can probably point to like 8 of those 11 wrong way, Matty.
There we go. Look.
There we go. You can probably point to 8 of those 11 and go, you've been underperforming for a while now. You have been underperforming for a while now. So there does need to be some personal accountability on the side of the players as well. You know, they've been playing this game for a lot of years. They decide when they go on the pitch, yes, they get put in a system, but also, you know, their application is down to them. How much effort they put in, unless they're being told to stay in a certain area of the pitch, is also down to them. How they press the ball in an idea is down to them. They will be given that tactical idea, but how they execute it is down to the players. So I don't think the players should be relinquished of the fault of this. There was players in this team that are underperforming. The real question is, why are they underperforming and what do you do to fix it?
That's the thing, isn't it? But the thing is, you're absolutely right. But you've got to look at the set of players you've got and think, how do you get the best out of them? Because their levels are their levels, and that's it. You haven't got you can't play slowly and go right, and then give it to Kevin De Bruyne, and he might do something. Oh, most time he will, fine, and he'll pick out a pass. You run, he'll find you every single time. He'll find a cross, whatever. We haven't got that player. We haven't got a creative bone in our team. We just haven't. So where we're playing slowly in front of teams, they're like, okay, now what? What on earth are you going to do to hurt us? You cannot hurt us. And that's the problem.
Do you actually? This is a controversial take. Do you actually think Farke wants a creative spark in this team? Because every time we have one, he don't really play them, boys.
Well, that's the thing, wasn't it? That's what people point.
He's got
to
Okafor, but does he want two? I'm not too sure he wants one on either side. I think Okafor's a bit of a maverick. I don't think he's as much as some of them we've seen at Ellen Road, but he's up there. He's the one I think who's got a little bit of creative freedom, in my opinion. I think Brendan Aronson's a systematic player. He's got to stick to his role. DCL knows his role. I do look at Okafor and I think he's only one with sort of freedom to sort of play the game as he sees it. Would he want that on the right hand side too? I aren't too sure, lads. You know,
it's one of those where it's like if you've got a limited manager, which I will stand on a hill and say Daniel Farke is a limited manager. I'm not saying he's a bad manager. I'm just saying he's limited in the way that he goes about his job. You've got to give that man a 10. You have got to give that man a 10. You move high in hell water to give that guy a 10. You've got to give him his most comfortable scenario. Right, because if you've got a 10, I'm guaranteeing you Dan James is playing when he's fit week in, week out.
Yeah, of course he is. Get him in behind.
That's it, and that is it, isn't it? Because it's really easy and quite right to say Farke's you got to set a system up to give the players you've got the best chance of winning. That's not happening. But you've also got to set the manager up. You've got all you can to give him as good a players as he needs. And to a guy that wants to play slow football and you don't give him a creative player, I mean that is terrible. I mean that's incompetent. It really is incompetent. Now the creative player we look at was Harry Wilson. Now I mean, how much would Harry Wilson add to our team? I don't know. I like Harry Wilson. He's a good player, much better than Brandon Arons on the right, and he probably would find that 10 GNA over a season playing right wing for us that we need. He probably would, and that would make a massive difference because I say, but then Farke needs to look at his team and go, right, this is the players. Well, because if we all go to players aren't good enough, it's on the players, then what's the point in changing anything? Just get relegated then. Let's all just get relegated. If the players aren't good enough, what's the point in any of this? What's the point in even having these shows? Like, we just carry, might as well just start getting the championship. Pack up for the season. I'm nearly the elephant. Great reference.
Nige, marking in general has been a problem for the last few games, hasn't it? Just picking up your runners.
And absolutely.
If it's zonal, man marking, it's literally just been not picking up your runners, doing the basics right in a defensive capacity for me. It's been switching off at key moments. And you can't do it in Premier League. We knew that coming up, didn't we? You know, you don't have to give many opportunities and the bury it, and that's what's been happening.
And none of it's good enough. Absolutely, the players aren't picking up people properly. Bijou, there's some arguments at the front post against Forest.
Yeah,
but,
that is true.
But
it's true. It's still a playing though.
There's elements of all that sort of stuff, and the players are at fault for certain things. Of course, every goal conceded, there's fault. Of course, every game that we haven't won, there's fault. Every game we tried to draw, there's fault. Of course, but the easiest change, and why people ask for change in the manager, is because it's the easiest one. It's the only thing you can look at and go, that can make a massive impact. Changing the right back, changing the left back isn't going to have that massive impact. Changing one centre back isn't going to have that. That's why people look at the manager. And it's no good saying, the players are at fault as well. And we could talk about that endlessly. There could be a whole show about how shit Ampadu was against Brighton. Brilliant. Doesn't get us anywhere. We're not going, we're going to replace him with a new guy from Thingy, when in January for 40 minutes. It's not going to happen. So you've got to find the best way of getting something the best out of these players. That's it.
Do you want to reply to Philip Anderson, mate?
Getting pelters.
I don't want no abuse, to be fair, in chat. He's not a Wally. He's a really good guy, but it's a difference of opinion, Philip. You're a Wally.
Am I Wally?
You're a Wally. Where's Wally?
Philip, that's a bit. I mean, I've never said it. I don't know this Philip guy. It just seems a bit mean.
Exactly. It doesn't seem a little bit.
I don't know. Well, I've got a prescription. These aren't more for fun. I don't know. Like, I can't see Philip. I can't see. I've got bad eyes.
Oh, love it. Is Okafor a better version of Nonto? He's a better player than Nonto. Similar, but yeah. Mike Bassett, evening all. Hey up, buddy. But yeah, it's a huge game. It's a massive, massive game. And let's get into predictions before I move on to the starred chats, because there's quite a few of them to get through. Also, Mr. Whitesnake's poem as well, actually, to break the show up. But yeah, let's get into predictions. So, lads, this is breaking news. This is the first time this has ever happened on Imagine Not Being Leeds, let alone Late Night Leeds. I think Leeds lose. But there's a good point to this, yeah, because I'm not right good at predicting. So there's a massive chance here this doesn't end the way I'm going to say it does. So I'm actually going to say we'll lose 2-0, which is massively negative. But saving grace, I've spent my money. I've got a ticket, the Holy Grail. I'm going. So I'm doing my bit, and I'll shout and I'll support and I'll do all that. But I don't think we'll win the game. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
AJ?
What was I supposed to say? Sorry.
It was a prediction.
I didn't listen to the first bit. I was so obsessed being called a Wally.
Come on, you Wally.
Yeah. My prediction is, my prediction is either we win 3-1 or they win 3-1, and I don't know anything in between. I think, as Bossnass said, there's something in this that the carnage might come. There might just something in it. The crowd get behind the lads find something in this. They back to the wall thing, or we do the same thing as we have done in the last few games, and Emery just makes a laughing stock of us, and just
I've got a really weird feeling about this game. I've got a really weird feeling towards the game. Pressure makes diamonds. Dog backed into the corner. Leeds beat him 2-1. Best performance since the opening day.
I'm buzzing. You're bringing a little bit of balance and a little bit of light there, mate. I did not expect you to predict that.
Listen, I wouldn't lie to you. It's just how I feel. If I thought it was going to get slapped 4-0, I'd say it.
Yeah.
I said we might win as well, by the way.
Look at these. Some of the form
that's just fence sitting, mate. Nobody respects somebody sitting on the fence like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, they don't, mate. They don't.
Getting splinters.
Getting splinters on your ass. But no, obviously, we're open and praying for best. But yeah, I've just got to go with the logical explanation.
Matty,
I can't lie to myself, mate. I can't.
Right, we can't have this. We can't. We've got to set the standard. Make him give us a prediction. I want a prediction.
Come on, Adam. Give us a prediction.
All right, you want it, do you? 3-1 Villa.
Oof.
There you go.
Wow. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. At least we scored a goal.
Yeah.
3-1 Villa, own goal Villa as well.
Yeah, they scored an own goal to pay us back all those years ago.
The caveat to this is, and like I say, I've used it in the opposite way tonight and said it. You can't just go off this, but the fact that it is at Ellen Road is the only saving. If this is at Villa Park, Bossnass, you're not predicting Leeds might win this. There's no way. So
they've done nothing away from home all year. To change my mind. Look, go on the evidence. Leeds actually haven't been bad at home this year. They've been unlucky.
Really good. They've been really good. We really have, and we played some good sides. As well,
that's cool. Look at that, really New York, man.
Go on, Geezer Moran. Love that. First goal scored at DCL. Not too sure. Right, let's switch up. 134 people in the house now, which is unbelievable numbers for us. Thank you so much. 75 likes. Let's try and get that to 100. Please smash a like. It's free. And it's 11:20. What are we still doing here talking Leeds United? But thank you so much for that. Yeah, we are. We might still be yet. But anybody who's new here, if you don't know, Mr. Whitesnake, our good friend who lives in New Zealand, always does as a poem for how he's feeling for the week. Been a little bit of negative the last couple of weeks. And Mr. Whitesnake just wants to draw a line under it. So he's done a bit of a poem to explain how he's feeling. And this is Mr. Whitesnake writes.
Mr. Whitesnake writes, poetry from New Zealand.
Right. In so few words we say too much. No care for hearts we scorch or touch. Some chase truth, some chase the plot, some just want the final shot. It doesn't matter what's real or spun. Once the whisper's out, the damage is done. Not wins but losses fill their feed, a growing poison we don't need. The drum keeps pounding that tired old song. No wonder the battle keeps raging on. No winners here in this endless game. The faces change, but the script's the same. They said this and they said that. Every argument keeps falling flat. We tear apart what we once shared. No brighter path, just roads impaired. Passion fading, stripped to the core. Fairness lost forevermore. If you keep on playing the same old song, the battle will rage on and on. Just like Leeds.
Mr. Whitesnake writes, poetry from New Zealand.
always sums the mood up of the week really well. Absolutely love him. Very, very important. Very, very talented man. Love it when he puts his thoughts down on paper. I thought that one of his best ones, but I say that every week. But I am maybe biased because I love the man. But yeah, really good. Any thoughts?
Mint. It's just mint, isn't it?
Yeah. Honestly, I could listen to him all day. I need him to just like read the dictionary, and I'd be just in awe for hours and hours. He needs to do audiobooks, Mr. Whitesnake, and I can listen to you as I go to sleep. That weird?
Podcast?
Yeah, to be fair, why not?
Just
Why not?
yeah.
Right then, guys. Start chat. Through a few of these at bottom of thing first. All these TV, 4K subs. Thank you very much. If that's Tasha, hilarious. Yeah, you were my 4,000th sub, Tash. After thinking you already subscribed, it was a bit of an awkward moment, but thank you so much. Best yet, Mr. Snake. Yeah, too right. Very good, Mr. Whitesnake. Everyone loves Mr. Whitesnake in here. We all love him. If you don't subscribe to him as well, get over there and subscribe to Mr. Whitesnake as well. Absolute legend. Right then, let's get into a few of these. So first of all, Bill, our favorite American. Sorry, any other Americans out there, I do love Bill. Gifted one. Imagine Not Being Leeds membership, as he does most Late Night Leeds. Thanks so much, Bill, as always. You're a star. Right, Fraser's been asking this all night, and I've been staring at it thinking, I'm coming to it, mate, don't worry. Bielsa chat, that's creeped into a few shows this week. I don't know how likely it is to happen. He's under pressure at Uruguay. Farke's under pressure at Leeds. Sliding doors moment. Does it align? I'll just throw this one out there. I know there's a lot of takes of this. It's just a nice little conversation. He'll injure all those players. He ain't got a pre-season. It takes too much. When you don't believe in the manager you've got, and I would advocate a move, Bielsa, over my shoulders. You can see that I'd take him tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie, and that may be wild to some people, but when you already think you're getting relegated, let's go out swinging there. And with Bielsa, we would have that. Yeah, as players have been knackered, but we'll worry about that 2.5, 3 years down the line. It'd be a good ride to get there. So I don't know if that's a bit of a wild one, boys. But any thoughts on the Bielsa chat this week?
I can go. Look, we all love Bielsa, man. We worship the man, don't we?
Yeah, man.
I would leave Bielsa and the kind of legacy that he left where it is. Simply because, again, I'll go back to the managers in this league. It's very, very difficult I mean, his style just won't change. And he will get dragged about. And I think he would have kept us up in that season, but I just don't think he would be the right man for the job now. Still love the guy, but ideally, and it would be really nice if we could get a manager in. If Daniel Farke does go, and by all means he might do, he might get to the end of the season and prove everyone wrong, and we all love us. But if he does fail at Leeds United this season, I'd love to get a guy in that has flexibility in his tactical approach, meaning he can play more than 2, 3, 4 shapes and play them well and be able to change matches in game proactively. And people say, well, is there any out there? I hope there is. Otherwise, the managerial game in Europe isn't all what it's cracked up to be. And I do believe Leeds are a big enough club to attract somebody like that. But it's all about timing. Nobody will come as a hiding to nothing with not much left of the season. So important decisions will have to be made, whether it's to stay the course, that might be the right decision, or whether it's to twist, and that could be the right decision. But stay tuned, because these decisions will be made very shortly. If they change manager in January, by the way, at the end of January when the window closes, I will go absolutely mental at this board. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, fair. Mr. Whitesnake, it'd be a short-term fix or no. If we change managers, we need a long-term one. Yeah, too right. I mean, there'll be better candidates out there than Bielsa, but I thought it was quite a fun topic. Someone mentioned it. I love the guy. Yeah, I'd have it just because I love him. I ain't bothered. It probably tarnish his legacy because it probably won't work out this time. I understand all that. But I'm a little bit dense. We know that by now. You've watched me long enough. What are you laughing for, Adam? Which I say? Eh?
I was laughing with you.
Shut up, you Wally.
He'd never come mid-season anyway. Nah, what the heck, mate? What the heck?
Yeah, I don't think my heart could handle seeing him leave the club twice. Yeah, to be fair, Geezer, Mum, and I'd be devastated with that too. To be honest, it would be. Right, Ricehill, AG, we have to win the midfield. I'm concerned that we lose our runners. I do think we can win. I do think we got to take the game to Villa. 4-2-3-1. Okafor, Willie, James behind DCL and go for it. You really want to see a formation change too, don't you, mate? You really, really do.
Do you know what? Winning the midfield is against Villa is really. I mean, Anana, McGinn, Kamara, Buendia, Rogers.
It's tough, isn't it,
That's a tough gig to win that midfield. That's a good list. There's a lot of quality there. There's a lot of fight. There's dual winners. McGinn's a really solid footballer. Anana's been scoring goals lately. 6'5", whatever he is, gets around the pitch. Again, wins duels. Quality on the ball. Kamara's their destroyer. That's a tough gig to win that midfield. So yeah, if we win that, we are doing exceptionally well. But what winning that means really, again, is nothing altogether, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. It's, new form. I'd like to see a different formation, but again, what we've done has worked okay. So, hang on. Oh, this is bang out of order. Like I don't know. Come on, beyond me. I don't know.
That's class. This one, Richard. Yeah, of course, mate. Well done to Jared again for his deserved awards. 100%, mate. Loved it. Russ Vernon. I've never seen Russ so negative as he's been tonight as well. He thinks we'll lose and he isn't too happy. Fair play, Russ. If Nonto doesn't feature, I think there is an issue between manager and Nonto. I'll be honest. I think if he isn't in the squad, doesn't get on, if he's on the bench and doesn't come on the pitch, I would say I agree with that one.
Even at Fulham, when he was fit, I think Aronson and Okafor
he picked Harrison and Aronson,
and James and Harrison come on.
Yeah,
Nonto was fifth choice then before he was injured. Like he doesn't see a role for him. He likes the Okafor winger, the right-sided player. That's why. I mean, that's another problem with James. If Nonto isn't fit, like he doesn't want two wingers, and you'll see James and Okafor as wingers. He doesn't want that. He wants one of them to come inside. That's why it's likely that Aronson's going to play if Nonto isn't ready to start games of football, and if he wants Nonto to start. So yeah, I don't think it's probably. I wouldn't go as far as a personal issue. I wouldn't guess that, but necessarily it might be. But I'm not saying that. But I think just tactically, he sees other wingers ahead of him.
Yeah, I don't know, boys. I think it is easy to read too much into these things sometimes. But what I would say is, if he doesn't even get in the squad for Villa, the odds for him being sold in January shorten massively.
Yeah. I agree.
And also the value, though. The value is not going to be great, is it? Because we'll have to shop him around properly. I know Italian clubs like him, etc. And he's well thought of over there, but he's not got a great value. But if you can get 12, 13, 14 million even, there's decent profit. You can invest into two decent level players because of the amortization.
That's the problem, though, isn't it, boys? As well, players. If you're sort of not in Farke's good books, if you're not going to play for Farke, many minutes. We see it with Joel Pinot. You sell him end of last season. Surely, it's a higher price you get than selling him in January if you haven't kicked a ball really this season. We are really a really good side at depreciating assets and letting money fall. And look what we've done with Melier. I think he's done a lot of depreciation himself. Don't get me wrong, but we are getting in a position where we are, I think, selling players, getting rid of players too late as a club. And from PSR perspective, that's no good. That's not sustainable. You need to sell players when the value is right. And yeah, we've lost some players. We've lost Archie, Somerville. We haven't done it with everybody. We've made money on some players, but I do feel like under Farke, there's a lot of players that don't get minutes, like a Pirro, whose value is dropping for me.
Yeah, I think he's spot on with that.
Come on, I got something right. Come on. Keep going.
Yeah, I agree. Spot on.
Well, no, I can remember watching a video where I think it might have been, don't quote me on this, but I think it might have been Connor, said that we should have sold Bamford at the end of the 17-goal season, and I couldn't agree more with that. That to me was clearly an outlier of a season compared to what he's been able to produce before, even in lower divisions. So I couldn't agree more with that. And to go back to Mike's point, I think he's absolutely spot on. We don't time the market well. We don't sell at the top. We buy at the top and we sell at the bottom. And some things, can be disputed, but I think that has to go down as something that's basically factual.
Yeah,
that's absolutely. But sometimes the Melier, etc., is a player issue. Sometimes, like Perot, again, it's about competence level of management of the club. Sit down Farke and go, right, this is the system we're looking to play. Does Pro even fit in this? Because I think we can make a few million on him here. And if we sit him on the bench for a full season, then we're going to be really, and also we can reinvest that money. So like even if we make 3, 4, 5 million on him in PSR, we can reinvest that money. You can get you can get like a 20 million pound player over 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I mean, it's just poor management again. It's got to come together. It's got to be joined up.
Yeah, of course that's mate. Cheers to that, Richard. He'll vote for us for an award next season. Cheers,
Well,
we'll take that. I don't know if anyone knows I got 4K subs. Richard put it there as well. Cheers, Stephen Ollishaw, I think he's left now, but yeah, it's really good comments early from him. Sunderland play without the ball really well. What's the point in having possession if you do back all with it? I'm massive on this. I'd love to see us win a game of football with 35% possession. And play possession with purpose. When we've got it, break quick, break fast, and and create chances fairly quick with ball, make those transitions count, as opposed to this slow, laboured build-up, which nobody likes seeing. We are the slowest side in the division. As ball retention is really poor. The only reason, if we have a decent bit of ball retention, it's because it's side to side and back to back. It's honestly so poor. So I think that's something that we need to change. I actually feel if we have less at ball, we'll get more points, which sounds ridiculous, but I genuinely feel if you see a fall in possession, I think that could potentially, especially at home, that could be a bit of a change of intact, and I think we'd score more goals personally, which again sounds weird.
I was just looking at Sunderland. Position 1, final third, 19th in the league. They don't try it. They don't worry. They just sit in that mid block and engage when you get in their half.
How mad's that?
Average possession 43%. They don't want the ball. This is exactly how I'm saying play against Villa. Like do this. Let them have 57% of the ball. Don't try and that high press. Just sit in your mid block. Just sit in a solid mid block and engage when they get in your half. I think that's what we sort of tried against Brighton early on, but we forgot to actually engage the ball at any. So you still got to engage the ball when it gets in your half. Don't worry. Yeah, but I don't like we don't want to be chasing around up front. We'll just get picked off. I think that's one of the biggest things going about. That's one of our biggest issues. Is I don't like the high press. I think it's poorly organised, and if Farke or the players, whoever it is, the triggers aren't right, and it's not working very well. I've been off the high press at the moment.
That's what I do think, it is one of those things, we talk about having purpose on the ball. That is why, going back to Bielsa, that's why we loved him. We could pick up that ball, right in our, 18-yard box, and the guys knew, like, exactly where to go with it. It was like a choreographed dance. It was like boom, 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 chance. And it was so good to watch.
It was. Yeah. And we'll never get it again. We know that. Yeah, but yeah, slow build up, anemic attack, no goals. Farke's ideology, 75% possession and getting stuffed. Yeah, it's not the best at minute, is it? But hopefully it'll change. Let's see with this one. Yeah, earlier when I said about, do you think they'll be looking yet? Do you think they'll have had a look? I've heard people say that they've spoke to a manager. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't know how anyone would know that. But yeah, already they will be looking at new coaches. Don't kid yourself, be a quick appointment. I would sort of lean against that. I think they'll have a shortlist. I think they may have even looked, but I don't know how you can confidently say it'd be a quick appointment based on, I know it's different, but based on Rangers' situation, based on the fact that he's still here now, I aren't too sure it wouldn't turn into a bit of a circus, which does worry me in. As much as I advocate a change, it's got to be the right person. Will they get that right? I don't know. There is an argument to say if they get the wrong person, we're worse than keeping Farke. I think we're going down with Farke, so I'd advocate a change regardless. But yeah, I mean, do you think, if you're honest, lads, do you think we've spoken to anybody, or do you think there's a list there and they're going to push the button after Sunday if it goes wrong? What do you think?
They must have spoke to people. They must have. Again, it's just competence management. You've got to go out and speak to people. You've got to.
Do you think it's that bad at their level? Do you think they've looked at it and gone, "Oh, I need to get on that phone and make some calls"? Do you think?
I don't think it's got to be that bad for even to do that. I think you've got to look at options and what's out there and what's possible. You've got. I
don't think Leeds directly will have talked to any managers. Whether they've gone to intermediaries that they have and go, can you just put the feelers out with this guy. That way it's not directly connected, because obviously if Farke found out, that's not a good situation. So I think that they will be finding out people's willingness to work with this team, but just not directly, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm 100% with you there. They can't not have done that. They can't not be doing that. They've got to be active. They've got to be active in everything they do. any possible solution to improve us in any single way, players, management, recruitment, whatever it may be, beer in the stands. They should be looking at everything all the time.
That's just best guess though. That is pure speculation. It's just best.
But what it is best business as well. Like, so it should be happening.
Yeah, not fair. Last few to get through, 88 likes, 125 people watching. I'd love it if you get to 100. I'd really appreciate it. Got 4K yesterday. I haven't mentioned it enough. I'm like Carl Froch. I boxed in front of 8,000 at Wembley. How funny is Carl Froch when he says that all the time? I love that guy. So funny. Anyways, Nige said this earlier. Who's Farke's leaders on the pitch? Usually it's the captain who is a manager's voice on the pitch and makes sure the manager gets the game plan carried out. Do we see that? I honestly, going back to when we were in this pomp, I say pomp, we were doing okay that opening month or so. I looked at the leaders on the pitch and thought we had loads, lads. I was looking at Longstaff thinking he's a leader. Ampadu, everyone was calling Rodon's, captain material. I was looking at it and thinking we had 3, 4, 5 leaders on that pitch. Now, I don't even think his captain's leading as well. So that tells you everything. And I think the captain probably needs to come out. There'll definitely be calls for him to come out if he has another poor performance at Ellen Road against Villa on Sunday. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't know where the leadership is. I feel like it needs somebody in this side, and maybe it's someone we've got in there. Maybe it is a Longstaff. Maybe it's a Stack to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and get us over that line, because ultimately we need some points. We can't just go 4 games, back to back losing, which is highly likely. But yeah, the leaders on the pitch, lads, for me, we had plenty. Now they're all running scared for me, and none of them look like leaders. I don't know is there anyone you can pick out and go, actually, I think he is a leader, or I think he's still leading?
I think that's just bias of losing games of football. I think if we're winning games, you'd still feel the same about lead, because we're losing games now. No one's leading. That's the way we are as humans. We just find that bias and we stick. We don't know it's even happening sometimes, or a lot of time, and we stick to it. Like Rodon, I don't think he's a leader personally. What I've seen, I think he just whines.
I disagree with you there.
That's fine. Do it. It's fine. Call me Wally and disagree with me. Bang up order. But for me, Rodon's not a leader. He's not someone I want to follow in the way he does it. Longstaff, I think, is going the same way as Rodon, just making lots of noise, not necessarily someone wants to follow. I want someone just, gathering a team together and talking to Luke Ayling. Everywhere Luke Ayling goes, he is a leader. Luke Ayling was probably a bigger leader for Leeds United than Cooper was a lot of the time. I think he did a lot of the team talks, etc., and people followed him. And he's inspirational. But yeah, to say if we win games of football, no one cares about stuff like that, of course. But you lose games, you're looking for not issues. You're looking at what potential problems there are. But it's not a concern.
Yeah, I think Rodon is a leader. I think if you give him the armband, that gives him, the license to go out there and give out bollockings. But I think, look, he does communicate efficiently on the pitch for me. He plays by example. One of the players that I can't really look at and say he's been lacking in desire. So yeah, I think I think I saw something in the chat there saying he's our most natural leader. I have to agree. I think if he got the armband and he was sent out there with that with that specification of go out there and keep people responsible and make sure that people are doing the jobs, I think he'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, a bit of an old school leader, I'd say. Go out there and lead by example, push and shout and shake it all about and all that. But yeah,
the thing is, him having the captain's armband or not, won't change anything there, will it? You're basically telling your players all to look at him or look at him as the guy you should be looking at. But Rodon can still lead. You're absolutely right. Rodon does lead by example the way he plays football. I think he's very, he gives his all, etc. But I think as a communication, for me, what I've seen, of the little I've seen, I just don't think he is. I think he just likes to moan. But I think it's frustrated. But for me, that's not a leader.
Yeah, I don't know, man. To me, you look to your captain to lead you around the team, to steady you, to calm you when you need calming, to rile you up when you need riling up. I do think giving Rodon the captain's armband would bring the best out of him. However, I don't think it's a conversation worth having because it's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
Of course, in a say flip side, what I'm saying is, if Ampadu is out of form, it's really hard to be a captain and be out of form and not playing very well, of course, as well. So then you've got to find it. You know, Roland's got to get involved, Longstaff's got to get involved, Bijol's got to get involved. Bijol, I think, wants to come in and be a leader. He's captain of Slovenia, I think, isn't he? But again, he's not playing very well, so it's really hard to tell anyone of anything while you're not playing very well yourself. And that's where it all just snowballs, because if players aren't playing very well, it's hard to lead if you've got to worry about yourself more than anything else.
Yeah, no, true. Roger Spence, morning lads. Just back from having a coffee with some mates here with the Gold Coast. I think we need a reset. I like the press conference. I think the Villa game will show us the direction we will take. Yeah, I think this game is massive. I'm really looking to see if a lot of people say when it goes, you know, you lose a few games. Ooh, is he losing the dressing room and all that? That's a bit of a wild take now, but that can happen at some point. It's going to be massive to see. For me, this, you know, I've even heard some Leeds fans say, well, I won't mind if we don't win, if it means Farke goes, which for me, I have to question your loyalty there. I aren't going to lie. But with this, I think we'll really see if the players want him, because we've seen him get interviewed. We've seen him do a lot of talking, Farke. His back's against the wall. There's no two ways about it. We can argue about his here till end of season, his here till January. We don't think he'll get sacked because he's the most senior football man at the club. We can argue all that. If we get spanked by Villa and we get spanked at City, I think he's got to go at that point, right? So for me, this is massive. This will tell us if the boys want him to maintain, you know, keep being their manager. We all know it, you know. You look at it in your workplace and you think your manager's a bit of a twat. Maybe you're not gonna have to ask him because you're not asking. You think he's on his way out. So this is going to tell us everything we need to know at Ellen Road, where there's nowhere to hide, in front of 37,000 fans, all willing you over that line. It will tell us where we need to be. For me,
no, I don't like that. I don't like that. Do you know when we say that Daniel Farke's the most, and don't get this mixed up with saying I don't like Daniel Farke. I don't like the fact that he's the most senior football man at the club. Because at that point, you're relying on that person to decide on this, you know, the profile of the players, which they should always have a say in. But I do like the system where you have a director of football that goes, these are the best players for the image of the team that we want to create. You're the coach. Now go and coach them to be the best they can be. That's the setup that I like. Just for me, it makes it harder to make the decision at the right time when these things are all intertwined with each other.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Like, director of football almost decide the style of the club, so it comes from a board level in terms of the style a little bit. But of course, that can come from the manager and kick back. But yeah, Farke being the most senior man, Underwood not having any sort of seniority in or he's not a senior figure in football at all. Even Robbie Evans is new to football, new to running a football club. It is a concern. Like, it shouldn't be like this. But I'd be delighted if Farke's here at the end of the season, because it would mean we're probably 15th, 14th. So great, fantastic. And then, do you know what I'd do? I'd sack him.
And we'll end it on that. Right, no, we're going to end it on a positive, right? Because American Leeds, I don't know if you saw, but I'm going 2-0 Villa, which I've never predicted a loss before. Adam, you're going what?
I'm going free. Well, you made me do this, you two. 3-1 Villa.
And we'll end on a massive positive because Bossnass is saying
2-1 Leeds, best performance of the season since Everton. Pressure makes diamonds. Dog backed in the corner. Everyone's buzzing, and the space on YouTube feels a hell of a lot healthier, and that'll be grand.
Let's hope so. We all want that. We all want a nice week next week in the space. Everyone being positive. Let's hope so. So yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much. An hour and 42 minutes. We've been waffling on. My favourite time. You Wally. Love you, mate. You Wally.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks so much for everyone who's tuned in. Still 111 people watching. Please do us a solid. Please smash a like on the way out, and please go over and check out Bossnass's channel. The link is in the description.
Planet Leeds, people. Planet Leeds.
Subs, really good guy. Planet Leeds. Go check his channel out. It's in the description, like I say. Spread the love, man. Yeah, cheers, lads. Great show. Thanks, Rice.
What are you up to next week, May?
What am I up to next week? Oh, yeah. Adam's away on Holly Bobs. So I'm hosting the Outside Ellen Road show with Jay Lynch and Oscar Marriott.
Whoa! Now that is a lineup.
That is a lineup. I literally am just gonna sit there and not say because I don't want to ruin it. So yeah, I asked Joe while they were getting his awards, and they were really, really good. Do you want to be on it? And he was buzzing, to be fair. They were both really happy to come back on. So yeah, that'll be good next week. I think we're shooting that on Monday. We'll try and get out Tuesday.
That's going to be class, by the way.
Yeah, no, great. All right.
Adam's not there with class. Yeah, I'd much rather Adam be hosting it and me just be able to watch it. To be fair, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, and hopefully plenty of positive content after a good performance, and hopefully 3 points. We shall see. Anyways, if you're about in Peacock, anybody, an hour before kickoff, I'll be there. Come and say hello to me and Priestley. There'll be a match day vlog going out on Sunday night, and yeah, that'll do us. Right, everyone, take care. Thank you. Please smash a like. Cheers, boys. Love you a bit. Bye.
Bye all.